Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Yeah, I guess that's a fitting way to start the show after after just a completely pathetic loss from the Vikings today. 27-19, they lose to the Ravens. Ziggy Ziegler joining us from Harvard University. We got producer Zach Bloomquist is with us as well. Ziggy, after watching the Vikings today, you were a big proponent of putting "It's over" in the thumbnail and in the title. So I'll let you take the first crack at this. Just a terrible loss.
You would have thought, because I told you this was going to happen. The Minnesota Vikings were going to disappoint us. We did our preview of Andy Herman, and you said, I think the Vikings are going to win. And I'll rehearse that one more time. Paul, what happens when the Minnesota Vikings give you hope?
No,
what happens next every time? Yes. Just tell me.
They let you down. Because last week they had to win because no one believed in them. And then this week when everyone believes in them, of course they score too, right? Of course the 3-and-out touchdown drive, JJ looks great. It's like, oh my God, is this team, like, are we not back, but like, are we actually good in a league where anyone can win this year? And then the mistakes just across the board. Ziggy, at one point you said
8 false starts.
Yeah, at one point you said, I tried to tell you, and I actually looked over at my dad. I was like, Ziggy needs to shut up here because it wasn't the mauling that's what you were predicting, right? You said a mauling. To me,
you're right. It was worse. I didn't think the Minnesota Vikings would do something even worse than getting blown out by the Ravens.
Complete self-destruction. I mean, the Vikings outgained Baltimore on the day, 365 to 321. It's just, you have 13 penalties for 102 yards. You fumble the kickoff twice. We were lucky to recover one of them. JJ throws 2 interceptions, and I've been arguing with people whether or not those were his fault or not. Justin Jefferson doesn't show up. The defense, for the most part, does the best that it can, but a couple of times, when they need to stop, they can't get it. I thought the defense, we can't blame the defense today. They did the best they could.
The defense held a Lamar Jackson offense to 170 passing yards, 3.5 yards a carry. The defense effectively did their job.
It was in 2 turnovers on downs for the Vikings. It was really, from the moment, Ziggy, that the Ravens hit the field goal to make it 10-6, we completely fell apart. Because not only did they cut it to 10-6 at half, I was like, all right, let's try and extend this lead to 7 at halftime. We get the ball back. We put it in the end zone here, and we could be looking at a double-digit lead. Instead, we go 3-and-out, punt it back to Baltimore, and Baltimore was able to get another field goal to make it a 1-point game at halftime instead of a 4-point game or perhaps a 7-point game. And we come out, and our drives in the third quarter are interception, fumbled kickoff. Then we fumble the kickoff again, recover it, and have a turnover on downs. Then we have a field goal drive, turnover on downs, the late touchdown, and another just pathetic late game turnover on downs as we're trying to tie it there at the end. They just failed in all across the board on offense here, and it's really disappointing because when you're watching it, it felt like JJ was actually having a pretty good game, and there's just a couple throws that he makes, and you just scratch your head, and he was wide open, and the 2 deep shots that were picked off, just. Neither one of those I thought were you have to go for it here moments. And it's just really disappointing because it felt like this was a game that was right there for them to take. And you just can't give the Ravens that many cracks at it because eventually they're going to score. Eventually they'll get in the end zone. So I was overall on JJ today pretty bummed out because it started hot. And then I thought that as the game went on, his decision-making and accuracy got a little bit worse.
Yeah, it's... the overthrows, both in distance and in height, there was obviously some of that. And I know that you have to take your licks when it comes to rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks starting for their first season.
Yeah.
But it's just tough that it seems you can't get consistent play out of him, right? He will go red hot for a quarter and look like a great quarterback, and then he'll be cold for 2 or 3 quarters. And at this point, it doesn't feel like he's got a lot of potential and it's just not showing up all the time. It's starting to feel like that's who he is. Now, I know he's a rookie. It's only been a few games.
Still way too early.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm out on him, but when you're under 50% completion, when you've got 2 interceptions, and while you can argue about whether or not those interceptions were his fault, they weren't accompanied by huge plays that he contributed to either. It just didn't. Those throws to Naylor were so good.
Yeah, Naylor had a great game today.
Basically, it felt like nothing else was working on offense after a great week last week in Detroit.
Yeah, and there just comes a point where JJ can't have turnovers every game. He can't have interceptions every game. He has 6 interceptions in 4 games this season. Like that can't happen. And I know against Detroit, it was kind of a weird one where it was pinned against the receiver's leg for, I think, Addison it was. But again, that was a ball JJ threw behind him. And today, yeah, there were 2 like deep ball punts essentially, but we're driving. I thought to open the half, we're driving the ball. It's 3rd and 1. Like, let's just continue. Let's get the first down, right? Move the ball along. We don't need to take the shot there, especially with Marlon Humphrey shadowing JJ on that drive. I thought KOC, I mean, we came out completely unprepared today. And that's something that we've been giving the Vikings credit for, right? That they came out with fire last week. But it still happens, these moments where, like, we need to have the win. And O'Connell just doesn't seem to have this team where it needs to be today. And it's really disappointing because he's one of the best coaches in the league. But at some point, this is a little bit of a problem. They don't show up sometimes.
Boy, can you think of another team in the NFC North that has a great coach that can win a whole lot of games but doesn't show up sometimes? I'll say this. Here's one more reason I was disappointed in the performance from the offense today. Did you see all this like JJ McCarthy alter ego stuff?
Yeah. Well, when you talk.
When you're like, I've got an alter ego, his name's 9, I'm smiles all the time, but when it's game day, I feed that wolf. I did it at Michigan, I'm going to do it here.
I know.
Like, I'm willing to be sympathetic to the fact that being a quarterback is hard and you're struggling, but you don't have to be a cringe lord about it.
Cringe lord. It's a dangerous door to open.
Right? It's like it feels like he's the personification of the eye of 2 wolves inside him.
My brother called me up during the game, and this was when it was going well, right after we scored the opening drive. And he's like, are you seeing these segments on JJ's, like, I'm tapping into the dark zone here? He's like, what the? This guy's a dweeb. But as long as he wins football games, it's good. That's the problem. When you lose football games and we're out here talking about alter egos, it does open the door. It doesn't bother me at all. I actually I enjoy it. But it does open the door to some pretty embarrassing memes that can be made about yourself. When someone just sent me a video, is like, that was it you? JJ McCarthy didn't throw that pick, 9 did. I was like, oh,
I didn't.
God.
I didn't.
I was like, oh God, here we go with this. But yeah, I just thought that he, again, ups and downs, and it's only start number 4. So someone said, take a chill pill. We have this little chill pill in my house that I carry around with me. So, well, I don't carry it around with me. It sits on a shelf. Probably should carry it around with me because you're watching this game, like, losing your mind on the 8th false start. But JJ, yeah, I'm not going to freak out. It's really disappointing because when you have that start to the game, my brain, at least, you're a little more rational, Ziggy. My brain starts thinking, okay, like, let's win this thing. And after we win this, we're going to go and we're going to beat Chicago next week. And then we're going to go beat Green Bay. And I get carried away pretty quickly. Got humbled fast in this one. And Justin Jefferson just seemed off, didn't he? Like, I wonder if he's under the weather or something. Like, this was.
But is he hurt? Like, Jalen Nailor. Jalen Nailor's a good player. He's really shown himself this year. Don't get me wrong. Justin Jefferson should not be the 3rd or 4th best wide receiver on the Minnesota Vikings offense ever.
Well, I like Jalen Nailor. Actually, he had a great game today, and he made a couple big time catches.
He showed up big time. I'm not criticizing him. You should not. Justin Jefferson should be the best wide receiver every single week.
Well, he should be, but I mean, yeah, Justin was not good today. On the 2 picks, it looks like
it was a huge problem.
I don't think that on either interception, he really had a chance. I mean, he fell on the second one, and the first one, I know people were upset about him not going for it more aggressively. I didn't think he had a chance to get that ball.
No, for me, I'm willing to deal with some plays maybe not going your way if you're showing up big other times. And Justin Jefferson, it's very rare that you go a full game without him really showing up much at all. It felt like those big Justin Jefferson plays. Maybe Sam Darnold makes them. I don't know. But the connection just wasn't there. And it didn't feel like this is JJ McCarthy screwing up every time either.
Well, and at the end of the game, right before the Nailor touchdown catch, it just looked like we had a throw out to Jefferson, maybe on like 5-yard line, that JJ just threw right over his head. And you see Justin like, what the hell? Like, what's going on today? And he wasn't really with it the entire game, and you're right. That's just not something you're used to with Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison.
The thing about Justin Jefferson historically has been when we've had the cavalcade of backups rolling in, you could always count on Justin Jefferson to do well.
Yeah, and this has been probably his worst year as a professional so far. He still has 650 yards. Like he's going to go over 1,000 yards on the year still. But it's just that something's missing. And you know what it is? I mean, again, we're trying out a rookie quarterback who's figuring it out, and he's not coming on the way that we were hoping. It could be similar to some of the other rookies we've seen over the past couple of years. And then Wentz was just Wentz was okay, but generally speaking, had nightmare moments. Addison today couldn't get going. 3 catches for 35 yards. Hawkinson has been nowhere all year. When you have this plethora of weapons, you got to get him the ball. Like there's no excuse for the Vikings offense not to be successful. And
or at least some, like, we're not asking for them to put up 40 here.
No,
we're just asking them to sometimes have good drives.
A few touchdowns. That when it's not crunch time, it's not nothing. We're not asking for anything crazy. And towards the end there, the defense is trying the best it can, but when you keep turning it over and keep giving the Ravens short fields, eventually you're just going to get worn down when Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are back there. And that's kind of what happened. They kept us in the game long enough, gave us a chance at the end, and we just have a really pathetic drive with no sense of clock management there at the end, right? Of course, we have the holding on the punt, and then we have to go, 85 yards or something, and it's just, looked horrible. And that also reflects on O'Connell. It's like, what are we doing, guys? How have we moved 20 yards in a minute and 10 seconds with the game on the line here? It's just, we're just throwing checkdowns. It made no sense to me.
Well, but then you see what happens when they don't try and throw a check down. Like, it's just nothing was working on the offense. And I get why they were doing what they were doing to some extent. We had no run game, right? There were 13 real rushing attempts. None of them went anywhere, except for one nice Aaron Jones touchdown. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. It's hard to believe that this Minnesota Vikings offense in yards and in yards per play did much better than the Ravens. Watching the game, it did not feel like that at all.
Well, no, it came down to the critical points, right? We said turnovers. The Vikings had 3. The Ravens had non-penalties. It was 13 for 102 yards to 5 for 62 for Baltimore. When you look at those categories right there, and then 2 turnover on downs for the Vikings, like that's it right there. We made the mistakes, and Baltimore didn't. And how many times today, Ziggy, was there like a batted ball up in the air that we were just a second away from? It didn't bounce our way today, and they really made a point on that Zay Flowers end around. At the end, or jet sweep at the end of the game where he dropped it and it bounced back up to him. They're like, yep, bounces right back up to Zay. I guess it's just kind of that day for the Baltimore Ravens. And I was really bummed out because I was so excited today. And that opening to the game was just so riveting. Makes you believe. But that's what we do. That's what we do. It's what you sign up for when you're a Viking fan. And again, I do this often, Ziggy, but I'm sorry I brought you into this. And we're just in it for the long haul.
Well, and it's tough to see the other quarterbacks in that draft class. We'll get there with Caleb Williams and the Bears. He had an outstanding day. Jaden Daniels is having a regressive season, but it was better than it's better than anything JJ McCarthy's done. Drake May is at the top of MVP lists. Michael Penix Jr. played a very good game against the Colts and was very close. Bo Nix has had an up and down season, but the ups are higher than our ups and the downs are higher than our downs. Like, JJ McCarthy right now, again, you can pound the table and say it's been 5 games all you want. I'm taking any one of those guys over JJ McCarthy at this point.
Oh, obviously right now. It's still a little too early. I think I'm doing a nice job of not having a crash out today.
We're trying really hard to
No, I really think I'm doing a good job here. But that's kind of how this game was. The Charger game was crash out material because it's just, getting your ass kicked. I don't even want to get back into that mind stage. You're just getting dominated. And today was more of like, holy crap, can we stop kicking ourselves in the nuts? We are just, it's been brutal. And the mistakes just kept coming. And it was from halftime on. The Vikings have an ability. All right. Okay, got to be careful here. The Vikings have an ability, unlike any team I've ever seen, to just fall apart in all 3 phases simultaneously. And you saw it at the end of the first half into the second half, where they have the 3 and out from the offense that lets Baltimore get the 3 points back up. Offense comes back out, throws an interception. Defense lets them go right down the field, and we fumble the kickoff. And it's like, what happens? Like, is there some sort of switch that the Vikings have where it's like, we're all going to forget how to play football at the same time? And it's been going on for years. It's not like it's a this year problem or this game problem. They just have this innate ability.
O'Connell problem.
No, they just have this innate ability to completely shut down all functionability. Is that functionality? Functionability. Functionality. I guess I do as well as a Viking fan. from being an efficient team. And I don't know, man. It's frustrating.
Maybe JJ McCarthy is the perfect quarterback for this team.
Yeah, I mean,
because he'll play great for a quarter or two and then forget what it is to throw a football for a quarter or two.
Yeah,
and that's the game.
And they're out there playing hard. You said it. Did you say it off the top of the show?
Yeah. Also, no, this was in their pregame, so I'll just say it. Like, this is the thing that sucks the most is this team is trying so hard. The players want to win so badly. And like, as we can sit here, and we do talk about how Justin Jefferson wasn't good enough, JJ McCarthy wasn't good enough. They're playing their absolute hardest to win. And this is why I know that they're not a horribly coached team. There are teams around the NFL this week that gave up. The Minnesota Vikings, even though we're effectively out of the playoffs, are not giving up. But they're just not good or consistent enough to win.
Not out of the playoffs, but you know what is something I found interesting too when they're talking about JJ coming in and O'Connell talking about it, saying, yeah, the offense isn't going to be as explosive as it was last year. I was just like, that's not what I want to hear you saying. Like, that you knew coming into the year the offense would have. I know we all know the offense is going to have its hiccups with JJ, but it's like it just makes it seem like you thought, okay, yeah, we know Darnold was the better option for winning. And I think that conversation is dead. Like, at this point in time, we all think that Darnold should have been the quarterback this year. But here's where we are. And it's gonna take time with JJ, clearly. And you see the throws that give you confidence. Like, this was better than the Atlanta game, and this was better than the 3 quarters in the Bears game before the electric fourth. You all right? What?
It's just disgusting to see the Seahawks up 21-0 in the first quarter.
Is it really? I haven't even.
They've got a Sam Darnold deep passing touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's unfortunately out. They've got a nice running touchdown from George Holani, and they've got a defensive touchdown from Leonard Williams.
Yeah. So someone goes, what are you guys bitching for? This was expected. Yeah, I know. I mean, look, yes.
I mean, but it doesn't matter if you know it's coming, right? Yeah. If I come over to your house right now and say, I'm going to kick you in the nuts in an hour, and then I kick you in the nuts in an hour, and you go, ow. Can I say, oh, I told you it was coming?
Yeah.
No, it still hurts just the same.
Yeah.
If anything, the anticipation, the fact that you know the Vikings are going to do this makes the hope even worse.
Well, this is the sick thing about me too, Ziggy. And I think that you're someone who, like, you might be like, okay, I'm going to get kicked in the nuts. Let me put some, like, padding down there and make this hurt less. I'm the kind of guy that would be like, you know,
you spread out and go, it's not going to happen this time.
I'm like, no, I go like, you know, Ziggy's my friend. He's not going to do this. And then you will walk up and just kick me anyway. Like, at some point, you'd think I'd be like, all right, let me prepare for this a little bit. But I was fully bought in. I mean, I'm tweeting out here in the first quarter. I'm like, we're back. You know, I was ready to let the floodgates open. So, you know, I guess it needed to be humbled a bit. And we'll see next year with the Bears coming in. I do just want to say one thing before we hit the Bears game. Actually, 2 things. The Saints beat the Panthers today, 17-7.
I said it was going to happen.
Well, no. I don't even want to go there. A lot of people we're saying, you know, guys, you're being unfair on the Carolina Panthers. Like, this team is good.
Bryce Young's won 4 straight games. He was out for the Bills game. We would have won with him. We've got a great running back. Someone tried to tell us they had 2 of the best 5 players in the secondary in the NFL.
I mean, there are talented players on the Panthers, but I'm out on Bryce right now. I'm sorry. I gave a long leash, but I'm just out. And I will never be a believer in a team without a quarterback. And we've said all year, you know, Panthers are just not a good team. They're 5-5 today. Going into the day, they were 5-4. It's not a good football team. I mean, they got worked by the Saints, guys. So that's why we were saying it was such a bad loss for Green Bay. Carolina, yes, Rico Dowdle has had a few games where he's just turned it on, and I guess he did against Green Bay, but that was a game they had to win.
Great play from Tyler Shaw that game, by the way.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch a single second of it. I had no interest.
I mean, he looked like a quarterback in the NFL.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Because he's on my dynasty team.
The other thing I was going to say is the Ravens are going to continue to win football games here. Like, they're going to make the playoffs. Everybody needs to get ready for that.
They've won the AFC East.
The North,
excuse me.
Yeah, the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. The Ravens are going to host a playoff game. They're probably going to get to the divisional round, and then we'll see if they can finally beat either Allen or Mahomes to get to the championship game. Like, that's going to happen. And what?
This is just a good comment from OPIV Punk. Paul, I'm not joking. There are some monks that train to be unfazed by getting kicked in the balls. Maybe you should start that training.
Look, if anyone has a referral to someone that they can train for that, I would love to. Yeah, and we're gonna bring a therapist on here. Seriously, we're gonna try and untap whatever problem I have here, and maybe I don't know about you, Ziggy, if you want to throw yourself in there, but I would love to go through a deep, psychoanalysis here on the show. And maybe you could like contribute if you don't want to actually get psychoanalyzed. But I plan on it.
I've been there and done that.
Yeah, well, I plan on doing it. And we could see what's really wrong with this Vikings fan here. I think that would be pretty funny. But yeah, Baltimore is going to keep going up in the power rankings. They're going to get better and better as they continue to get more adjusted to these guys coming back. They had a lot of dudes out. So just get ready for that because people were mad that they were in the power rankings this week. They're not going away, guys. What's Baltimore's schedule the next couple of weeks here?
The Ravens, they don't have the easiest schedule in the world. Well, they do for the next few weeks. They go to Cleveland.
what are you talking about?
They host the Jets. They host the Bengals.
Yeah, like they're gonna
scroll down a little bit too much and saw Steelers, Bengals with Joe Burrow, Patriots, Packers, Steelers to close out the year.
Yeah, they're gonna be like 9-5 going into that New England game, and then I think they're just gonna keep winning. And then they have that tough ending with New England at home, the Packers and Steelers on the road.
Yeah, but they get to play the Steelers twice. They're going to win both of those and win the North.
Okay, so I do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. We have over 400 people right now who are listening to this. I hope you're enjoying yet another misery reaction for Ziggy
if
and
you
I.
are, you know what to do. Click that like, click that subscribe, leave a comment, throw something in the chat.
Yeah, and it's great seeing everyone active in the chat right here. Hope you guys are enjoying. I'm assuming we still have most people who are Packers fans today tuning in. Maybe there's a Viking fan in there who's using this as a therapy session. But the Packers you guys are waiting for that big game tomorrow.
Do we have to abide by the results of polls, Paul?
Why?
Look at the most recent poll.
Should Ziggy kick Paul in the nuts? The last one I saw was should we crash out? 70-30, yes.
I didn't think our fans would say yes to that. I don't know what to do. Well, at our Q&A in Green Bay in 2 weeks, are we gonna have to do that?
Look, I'm sorry. I'm all for going out and having a meet and greet, hanging out with everybody in Hagemeister Brewery, like having some fun. At no point in that meet and greet do I plan on getting kicked in the nuts. I don't even want to plant that in people's minds now.
Well, yeah, of course you're not going to plan to. The whole point of the Minnesota Vikings
should you really kick Paul in the nuts? What do you need to do that? Because you know it's going to be on Sunday. We're going into Lambeau. Like that'll be enough pain for me. I don't need physical pain.
Me wearing the Ziggy jersey?
Yeah. I totally forgot you're going to be in the Ziggy jersey too. It's just across the board. That will probably be a disaster weekend for me, at least. It'll be great to see everyone, but just know internally there will be a lot of pain. The other thing we have to talk about here in this game, or in this reaction, the Bears, 24-20 win over the Giants.
Of course Chicago has it figured out.
I'm not going to lie to you, Ziggy. As the second half of these games was going on, and I see it's, 17-7, right? The Giants had the lead. I actually went full screen on the Viking game. Because sometimes I feel like when you have the quad box up, it can, you're just not seeing everything the way you want to. So we threw it up. Next thing I know, I like blink my eyes, and the Bears go on this 80-yard drive for a field goal to make it a one-score game going to the fourth. Giants extend it back to 2010. I turn back to I go back to the one screen with the Vikings, and all of a sudden now, late in the game, Bears down 20-10. They go on 2 straight touchdown drives, 9 plays, 91 yards in 2 minutes. Force a 3-and-out, ball back, 4 plays, 53 yards. Caleb runs in the end zone. It's 24-20. Bears win again. And after, seasons and seasons where they lose these games, we're starting to sound like a broken record here. This is a different Bears team. They're winning the games they usually lose. And Caleb was not good today. And Caleb was 20 for 36 or 220 yards and a touchdown.
He was when it counted, though.
But, he was when it counted. And it just felt like the whole game you're watching, every time I looked over at the Bears game, I see Caleb with his head in his hands. He's just looks exasperated. And finally, when they needed it, he was making plays where he's running to his left, throwing. He's he's so athletic, and he makes these throws.
He was great on the ground.
Yeah. 8 for 63 and a touchdown. I mean, the angles that he can throw from, the talent's all there. We always say it's just a matter of putting it together. And you know what? While you're putting it together, if you find ways to win, it makes you dangerous when you figure things out. So the Bears
Yeah.
are 6-3, man.
No, and you can sit back and say their last two games, they needed ridiculous things to go their way against the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Football Giants. Though, admittedly, the Bengals also needed crazy things to go their way to be in that game.
Yeah,
It's
they were in
one of the
control of that.
funniest win probabilities I've ever seen. And like, is in the course of 3 plays from that Bears game, it went 98% Bears to like 97% Bengals back to 65% Bears.
Yeah, no, they've been finding ways to win this entire season. I mean, how many games can we count now where it's like, yeah, that could have easily been a loss and they came away with a win? The Raiders game, Commanders game, Bengals and Giants now, right?
Yeah, and of course, it's not a surprise to anybody that Jackson Dart got a concussion in that game. I certainly hope he's not hurt, but like something has got to change of how he plays.
Yeah.
But last year, for actually since the 2018 run, every year has been the Bears getting themselves in situations and then just losing. Everything goes wrong. The coaching's not there. You saw it last year in several separate ways, whether it was the Hail Mary or like ridiculous, we're just going to sit back and let the clock run out against Detroit while we're trying to win the game. And we said last year when they got it done against Green Bay, this is a turning point. The Chicago Bears are going to start finding ways to win. They brought in Ben Johnson. They're adjusting to the new offense. The defense continues to play. They had some big plays from players who were letdowns last week. Tremaine Edmonds had a great play to stop the game. And just, it feels like things are different in Chicago.
Yeah, it does. And it feels like every time, of course, the Giants found a way to lose too, right? They've sort of been the anti-Bears when you think about the Broncos game and you think about the Cowboys game earlier in the year, even the Chiefs, right? Like when Mahomes had that ridiculous swiping away of the fumble he had, like they've just been finding ways to lose football games while the Bears are finding ways to win. So sort of the perfect storm here of how this game played out. And I actually feel really bad for Russell Wilson because it seems like, Dable loves Jackson Dart for good reason because he's saving his job. And Russ comes in and what was the game? I think it was the Philly game. That's when Dart got hurt, right?
Yeah.
And had to go to the tent. And you see Dable just like looking at Russell Wilson like, oh God, here we go again with this guy.
And Russell Wilson is a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback with a storied career who wasn't bad last year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks like one of the movies you watch where, like, the father just loves one son way more than the other one.
Let's not forget, in that Cowboys game, Russell Wilson completed 75% of his passes for almost 500 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, that was
He has played good football for the Giants this year. Obviously,
well.
has been good.
Yeah, he's
so
had
I'm
one
not saying
game.
he's been good across the board. I'm just saying, like, you'd think he came in and, like, murdered kids with cancer.
Oh, all right. What is going on here?
The way that Dable looks
okay,
at
let's take it back a second.
No, that is absolutely how Brian Dable treats Russell Wilson. It's just like, you're a piece of garbage. Get off my team. I want Jackson Dart. I'm willing to go into the concussion tent and drag him out.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. But I just felt bad. They're up 20-10 with the football in the fourth quarter, and they just have 2 straight 3-and-outs. Russ is getting sacked. The offense is having penalties, and the Bears respond, of course, with 2 big touchdown drives. It's like, man, they cannot figure out ways to close games. And maybe next year, with Dart healthy and with Scadaboo back and hopefully Neighbors back, I think the Giants have a pretty bright future, like much brighter than the Jets right now. They're just having one of those years where, all the games that can go their way don't. And usually that evens out a little bit. Clearly for the Bears, it is evened out a bit this season. But at some point...
Yeah, and what's funny is in this game, the problems, believe it or not, I know you said Caleb didn't play great. I'm not sure I agree. It felt like he was playing close to lights out, and the things around him weren't working great. And still they found a way to win.
And
the receivers have got to learn how to catch the ball.
While we're recording this right now, the Lions are up 7-3. They're going to beat the Commanders today and go to 6-3 on the year. But if the Packers lose, if Green Bay loses to the Eagles, they're in third place.
The Bears are tied.
Yeah, they'll be tied with the Lions. Chicago will be, but Detroit will have the tiebreaker from earlier in the year, and Green Bay will be third in the NFC North. I mean, the division, and that's why it's really upsetting with the Vikings because I feel like with all the division games coming up, we're good enough that we can have any given week an awesome performance and win these games we did last week against the Lions, against Green Bay, against Chicago. So it just sucks to lose one where It didn't feel like Baltimore was really dominant. We just shot ourselves in the foot the whole time. But Chicago, like you got to be really pumped up. It's all right in front of you. And next week they get the Vikings, a chance to really kind of bury the Vikings. And when you get to 7-3, I mean, that's a legit record. Like they're here. Like the Bears are here. Maybe you don't believe in them. Whether
their
it's
end of schedule after that Vikings game is rough. You
Yeah.
host the Steelers, you go to Philly, you go to Green Bay, you get a break against the Browns, and then it's Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit.
But they have a shot, and that's what you're excited about if you're a Bears fan. It's like you in the years past, you're like 3-5 right now, and then you get the brutal slate.
This is the best record the Bears have had since 2018 through this point in the season.
And at 6-3, you're hoping if we pull everything together here, get a couple wins we might not be expecting to, all of a sudden those games against the Packers, you host the Lions, like the division starts to come into frame a little bit. And it's again, I'm not saying the Bears are going to win it. I don't think they will. But the opportunity has opened up for Chicago to get the job done. So we'll have to we'll just have to see over the next few weeks.
Isn't that just typical?
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible. Of course, this is Chicago starts putting it together. We can't even delight in another team in our division being worse than us. At this point, I'll just say it. I'll pronounce it. The Minnesota Vikings are the worst team in the NFC North.
Yeah, we are. I still think we can beat anyone.
I feel the urge to deny it, but we are.
I still feel though that if we play Detroit 10 times, I don't know, maybe we're only winning like 3 of those, but I don't think Chicago's that much better than us. There are some teams like the Jets are not close, right, to the Bills or the Browns. I don't think are honestly that close to Baltimore.
It's the Vikings are going to be 2.5-point favorites next week at home versus the Bears.
Yeah,
it's close.
Like the Vikings are competitive in their division. It's just it's a tough year. I mean, last year we had an easy schedule. We took advantage of it. This year, tough schedule, and we're just an average team.
After this week, you can't group the Dolphins in with teams that aren't competitive in their division.
Yeah, congratulations, Zach. You guys are back.
Oh no.
Yeah, Tua is back. I mean, bring him back for another year. Why don't we rerun this whole thing? Get McDaniel and the gang together again?
Yeah, no.
H-Chan looked awesome. I mean, he did.
Well, he's our quarterback. That's why.
Yeah, Zach's over here. We had the Dolphin game up, and Zach's just like... Zach's in like this weird, like sort of hell of, oh my gosh, of course, every time I want us to just get blown out so we could finally blow this thing up. H-Chan goes for 174 and 2 touchdowns, and we beat Buffalo in the year that it doesn't matter.
I do have one question for you, Paul.
Yeah, please.
Could it possibly be a coincidence that once end of game situations start turning well for the Bears is immediately after of Pope, who's the fan of the Bears, is elected? Could God finally be smiling on the Chicago Bears after all these years of misery?
I tend to think that God worries about other things in sports. Like that's always kind of been my belief is like, I probably shouldn't pray for a sporting outcome. And I really don't do that. I don't go to church on Sundays and pray for the Vikings to win. I don't pray for Notre Dame to win on Saturdays.
Well, what if you did? Maybe we wouldn't be in this.
Oh no, I mean maybe I should. Maybe I should start thinking about it. But I will give it to you. There is something a little fishy about the turnaround. Like these are, dare I say, miracle wins from the Bears. So I don't know what's going on,
because the way they're winning is miraculous.
If the Bears win the Super Bowl, we'll have to do some deep reflection on a show. Like we'll have to dive into it. I mean, you say you have connections.
If the Bears win a Super Bowl, I might quit the show and go become an Augustinian.
Yeah, like that that would be shocking. And you'd have to get your connections. We'd have to see if Pope Leo would come on the show and we could see what's really going on. Can you imagine Pope Leo comes on? He's just like, yeah, I've been, really begging for a Bears Super Bowl here. First thing I did, doors shut. I'm in private. I'm Pope. All right, let's do this. Let's go.
Think if he prayed the Bears to a Super Bowl, think how many people would convert.
You could probably, Pope Leo, he's being responsible. He's doing his job. He's doing his job.
But I'm just saying, no, but it's This year feels harder than most years to watch the Vikings, doesn't it?
Ziggy, no. This is who we are. Like,
No,
you were lucky that you were brought into a seasons where. What was your first year? Would you say as a big fan of the Vikings?
2022.
Yeah, that was the
When we won the North.
Cousins. Yeah, Kirk was great. We were 13-4, right?
Yeah, we were 8-1.
That was our miracle year. We had miracle finish after miracle finish. Yeah, I mean that was nothing's really like that. I'll tell you right now, those are few and far between. That year, I mean, one of my favorite years, the Buffalo game, the Giant walk off. It felt like we were walking people off every single week.
We had Lewis Seen and Andrew Booth coming in ready to contribute.
Yes, the year before that was the first season ever where we had every game end horrible for us. I remember watching us lose to the Lions in Acme in South Bend, Indiana, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't do this year. And that's sort of, I'm not there on this season. This season, let's be really clear. This season is all about JJ McCarthy getting to a place where next year we're confident he's the guy. That's what, I'm not wavering from that. If we, pull off 3 or 4 wins in a row, I'll get excited about a playoff run. The sole goal is some of the McCarthy stuff. And today, I don't think we took a real step forward there today. I think today was kind of neutral. And it was unfortunate because it was a really big spot for them to come out and carry the momentum that they had against Detroit. So, all right, we'll wrap it up here. We've been going, how long has this been going on for?
45 minutes.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up. And I think the plan is to go at 7:30 after the 4 o'clock games. But we'll keep an eye out for that show coming up. If not, Ziggy and I will do something tomorrow morning.
And we will certainly have a live reaction to Eagles Packers.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for that game. I think it's going to be a great, awesome football game. And the winner of that, is the winner of that in control of the 1 seed? I don't know how the tiebreakers work.
If you
Green Bay will be.
If Green Bay wins out, yeah, they get the 1 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, duh. But
well, no, I mean if they beat the Eagles, yeah, they're in control of it. They have those tiebreakers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have a game. We'll have a reaction tomorrow, and we'll figure out. We'll either be live at 7:30 or we'll be live to